This is the Phillies POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And welcome into Locked On Phillies POSTCAST on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzett. I got you covered for each and every one of your POSTCAST needs. Connor Thomas has you covered each and every day for your podcast needs, for your daily podcast needs. Here's at Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. What a win for your Philadelphia Phillies. We talked about this last night. This time, they actually didn't just come back and get themselves back into the game, the Seattle Mariners. This time, they actually tied the game at 4-all. Thanks in large part to Rob Thompson's mismanaging of the situation. This guy has zero feel for his starting pitchers, for his bullpen, when to make that decision. Now, the Phillies won. Phillies have been on a bit of a heater as of late, which is nice. When I say a heater, I mean they split with the Nationals, which is nothing worth bragging about, obviously. But first place team, let's put it this way. The Mets have not been on fire. They were up big, like 8-1 last I checked. And the Phillies going into tonight were 5.5 games over into first place, in the NL East. The offense has certainly been there. They scored 6 runs tonight, which is above their recent average, unfortunately, of barely on that road trip being able to score more than 4 runs in a game until they were able to face the Nationals and start teeing off on that pitching, with the exception of being shut out. But it brings you to tonight's game, and it harkens back to last night's game. Last night, Ranger Suarez is in the game. Rob Thompson, I think, in his mind, let him face maybe too many batters. And then he hits a guy. That run ends up coming around to score on Ranger Suarez. Tonight, Rob Thompson makes the decision in the 7th inning after a 4-pitch walk to take Christopher Sanchez out of the game and bring in Orion Kerkering. Now, Orion Kerkering, they got 1 out in the inning already, thanks to Christopher Sanchez strikeout, similar to last night with Ranger Suarez getting a strikeout. And instead of letting him face another batter, he pulls him immediately. He goes to the bullpen. Now, there's 2 things I don't like about this. He starts off that inning at 86 pitches. If you're going to have Christopher Sanchez go out there for that 7th inning, then that's his inning. And I know, that might be old-timey baseball thoughts, but that better be his inning. You better give him an opportunity to try to get out of it. If you're not going to pull him after he got the strikeout, then that's his inning, unless he really gets himself into trouble. Walking 1 batter on 4 pitches doesn't really say to me, oh, man, he's in trouble. His pitch count was getting up there, sure, but that better be his inning if you're going to let him go out there. My problem is pulling him as early as you did. If you're going to have him go out there and not start out Orion Kerkering, who, by the way, I don't know the numbers on it, but I hate Orion Kerkering inheriting even a base runner, let alone, 9 pitches and 2 walks before he allowed another run with the bases loaded. That doesn't make you feel good, unfortunately. So my issue is with Rob Thompson. If you're going to have Christopher Sanchez go out there, you can't have him on such a short leash. And after he starts out the inning with a strikeout of J.P. Crawford in the 7th inning, if you really thought you had an itchy trigger finger there, get him out then, not after the walk. Bottom line, it should have been his inning. Then Orion Kerkering gets frustrated because he is just missing pitches. And then later in the game, everything was a strike. But unfortunately for him, nothing that was close was called a strike. He ends up allowing 3 runs to score. One of them is charged to Christopher Sanchez, unfortunately, and he allows the game to be tied at 4. That was a big sticking point. And then the big moment of the game happened, and we could jump to it right now with the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point of this game, without question, is when JT Realmuto stepped to the plate in that bottom of the 8th inning. Now, I had talked about this last night jokingly. I was like, hey, you know what? Have this, Nolan kid there, this Nolan Hoffman kid, have him, threaten even more. Have the Mariners threaten even more. Make it a save situation, why don't you? Just so the hometown crowd, just so they can see Joan Duran come into this game and turn their cell phone flashlights on, because that's fun. See the tarantula crawling across the scoreboard in right field. Would have loved to have seen that. I was kidding, of course. And then it actually happened. The Phillies are up 4-1, and it's still a same situation, so you still get a chance to see him. But Orion Kerkering let it be a tie ball game, so now it can go either way. And then JT Realmuto, after Bryce Harper's leadoff single in the 8th inning on Matt Brash, JT Realmuto steps up, jumps on a first pitch sinker, and just hits a moonshot. 431 feet for a 2-run home run and a 6-4 Phillies advantage. How about that? And I couldn't get over the stat. I didn't really. I know he's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball since June 1st. I realized that. But did you hear this stat tonight that they rolled out there on the broadcast? I was unaware of this. I admit my ignorance here. JT Realmuto has a 364 batting average in the 8th inning or later in ball games this year. That is the second best batting average in the 8th inning or later all season in all of Major League Baseball. What? That is Mr. Clutch. How about that? That is something from JT Realmuto. So yes, not only did he provide our turning point, but spoiler,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It is your boy JT Realmuto, and when you also look at what he's been doing overall, another 2 hits for him tonight, 3 RBIs, including that 2-run home run there in the 8th inning. He's got his average up now to 278 overall in the season, and let's not forget how bad it was in the early goings of the season for JT Realmuto, crushing that Rafael Marchand had not done anything to show any promise. JT Realmuto struggling, and then ever since, I can't believe it, ever since June 1st, you're talking about a totally different baseball player for the Philadelphia Phillies. He gets the nod for the player of the game. By the way, the one particular play, the first run that scored on Orion Kerkering, he had the play at home. The easy play, you could say the smart play, was to do what he did, which was allow to run the score. It becomes a 4-2 game and just get the out at first base. Then you get 2 outs in the inning. That was the easy play to make. It was a smart play. He did have the play at home. He had the out at home. I watched it a couple of times. It would have been a difficult play to make. And if it was Ranger Suarez, I say make the play. If it was Christopher Sanchez, I say make the play. If it was Zach Wheeler, speedy recovery. If it was Zach Wheeler, I say make the play. I'm not asking a bullpen guy to make that play. JT Realmuto at home was waiting there, and on the side overhead angle of the play on the replay, it looked like JT, like he definitely had his arms up for the target, had his hands up to be the target because it's a force out with the bases loaded. All you got to do is get to JT and he's out. JT even looked disappointed that Orion Kerkering didn't come home with it. It would have been a tougher play for Orion Kerkering than some other pitchers I'd trust with that. So I do think he made the right play in that one. Now, JT did shrug his shoulders a little bit with disappointment, but I think Orion Kerkering, of the rare things he did well tonight, I think he made the right play on that one. As far as what you'll be talking about tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
I think you're going to talk a lot about Jhoan Duran coming in and getting his 22nd save. I think you might also mention how he almost took the head off of Arozarena with a 102-mile-per-hour fastball. That was I was nervous watching Arozarena hit the dirt. 102 miles per hour. Good Lord. Like, I don't know how. We all played at various levels, right? If you saw like 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour at the highest levels you're at, maybe you saw 90, I don't know. Imagine 102 at your head. And then as fate would have, that was an 0-2 fastball at the head, 102. And then Jhoan Duran burned, I think it was a splitter low and away. A knuckle curve low and away. And I was with Krucker and T-Mac. I didn't know he had a knuckle curve. I didn't know he had that in his arsenal. But all right there. Way to be, fella. But yeah, I think we'll be talking about Jhoan Duran getting a save. You'll be talking about JT Realmuto's home run. Certainly we'll be talking about Kyle Schwarber getting his 44th home run of the season with Cal Raleigh in the building. How about that? And then Christopher Sanchez. Now, in a game like yesterday where the Phillies win 12-7, it gets lost that Ranger Suarez had 6 2/3, 2 runs. He was dominant. Ran into trouble in the 7th inning. Christopher Sanchez was dominant, and he walked the guy. He starts the 7th inning at 86 pitches. He gets Crawford chasing a 2-2 sinker in. He can't hold up his swing. He was more trying to protect himself, getting out of the way of the pitch. But anyway, he swung. So, yeah, strike 3. Sit down, son. So now he's at 91 pitches. He walks more, on a 5-pitch at bat. That also involved a bad call. if I'm Rob Thompson, I'm not pulling him at that moment. He had done this throughout the night where he got into a little bit of trouble, but got himself out of that trouble time after time after time. So Rob Thompson, I thought, had a bit of an itchy trigger finger in a moment where we're not used to him being having such a. We're used to him being like, why doesn't he get him out of there? What's going on? You know, that kind of thing. The 5-pitch walk didn't make me go, oh, Sanchez has lost it. It certainly didn't make me go, oh, good, let's give this over to Orion Kerkering. Because, again, I hate Orion Kerkering coming in the middle of an inning or, you know, trying to clean up somebody else's mess. Not that a runner on first is somebody else's mess. But Kerkering certainly needed to be better in that. But I still think that was Sanchez's inning. Give him one more batter to see if he can get you the 2 outs. And it really doesn't give you much of a vote of confidence in Orion Kerkering, being that he walked Arozarena on 4 pitches. Then he walked Raleigh on 4 pitches. Then the bases were loaded with 1 out. But as far as Sanchez goes, one of the big things for him tonight was the 12 strikeouts. How about this? 7 of them coming on changeups, 3 of them coming on sinkers, 2 of them coming on sliders for Christopher Sanchez. And similarly to Ranger Suarez, he only had 2 strikeouts in 3-2 counts. Only 2 of those strikeouts came with full counts, and both those came in the first and second inning. 1 to Rodriguez and 1 to Naylor. Other than that, it was 2-2, 1-2, or 0-2 up in those counts, and guys were left fishing outside the strike zone. So how about that? All right, when we come back, we're going to take your comments on this one. What would you have done in that 7th inning? And also, if you just want to sing the praises of JT Realmuto, I'd be happy to just help you sing those praises. I'll get the pitch pipe out, all right? You can tell me your note. We'll hit it together when it comes to JT. That's where we return. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast and Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Let me tell you about FanDuel. You guys enjoying all FanDuel has to offer right now? Well, you should, because FanDuel's a great time. And how about this? FanDuel is making things even more interesting than they usually make things interesting, which is very interesting. For instance, August 26th. What? Yeah, mark it down. August 26th is the day to mark in your calendar. It's officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champion, before week 1 even kicks off, FanDuel has you covered. This is your moment. FanDuel Futures Day, August 26th. Take a flyer on your MVP. Maybe you do want to pick that winner in the month of August. Parlay your division winner dark horses. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because futures bets and Futures Day is one day only. FanDuel, play your game. And how about Prize Picks? Hopefully you guys are having a good time with Prize Picks as well. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn football predictions into real rewards. Preseason already heating up, and college football isn't that far behind. Whether you got your eye on a big-name quarterback or a breakout running back this year, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. You like Joe Burrow? You like Saquon Barkley? You like Josh Allen? Maybe you like Jalen Hurts, guys. Prize Picks. Very simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. I've used Prize Picks for a few seasons now, and man, do I love how simple it is. I can get a lineup in before my coffee finishes brewing. Flex play option as well as a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still double your money. You can still double your money. How great is that? Prize Picks is where it's at. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups and play your first $5 lineup. Yeah, that's right. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play with Prize Picks. Prize Picks, run your game. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine evening with the Phillies picking up the W and the New York Mets, I think, won. That game final? They were on the Road, I think. Oh, yeah, they were in D.C. Last I saw was 8-1 in favor of the New York Metropolitans, and the final was 8-1. Wah, wah. But anyway, the Phillies are still up 5.5 games, so that's fun. Joseph Grillo, was Sanchez out of gas, low leverage all night? Come on. I agree. Kirk should not have been used when there were runners on base. Absolutely. Thank you. You and I, RF, are on the same page. JDM, at least 3 of Kirk's pitches that were called balls were strikes according to the machine. Yeah, I agree. The walk's a bit of a rough one. Mark C says hi. Hi. Sanchez deserves better fate. I agree. Philly and 8. Eric Backus needs an immediate trip to an optometrist. Hell yeah. Robertson looks crafty. Joseph Grillo, you're the first person ever to talk about a right-handed pitcher as crafty. Usually crafty is only lefties, but I agree. Once you get 40, man, once you get to 40, you're crafty. Knew I'd be impressed with Duran, but he's truly a monster. Wow, I agree. The 1-2-1-5, absolutely. Michael Evans Schwarber showed Cal who's the real home run king. You damn right. Bam, man. When is the last time Bomer worked 2 walks in a game? Got to be almost as rare as Casty. Fair. Mark K. Whole lineup just seems better now that Bohm's back. I did a local TV hit today on our local Fox 29, and I said, it's like everyone's back home. It's like having Bohm back in the order. Now, I know JT's still hitting cleanup, and Bohm's batting after him, but remember, in the early goings of last year, JT was your cleanup hitter. And Bohm then eventually wrestled that spot away from him because he was on fire. Well, JT's on that fire right now, man. But having Bohm back in this lineup, it's a whole new ball game, for lack of a better term. Stott really likes hitting his homers off the auxiliary scoreboard. He absolutely does. JT says can't miss the strike zone if it's in the seats. How about that, David? I agree. Matt Forstater, why didn't they pitch Alvey? Spite? I don't know. I had the same thought. He was there tonight. Topper actually pulled Sanchez, in my opinion, at the perfect time. Rosarena and Raleigh coming up were putting up good swings, and once Topper made some sense. Yeah, Jeremy, the thing is with me, at 86 pitches, I know the argument could be made, get him out of the game. Or keep him in the game because he's only at 86 pitches. I get it. But once he starts that inning, he gets the strikeout. He gives up 1 walk. Raleigh had the double off of him earlier in the night. I'm letting it ride with Christopher Sanchez if he's still out there. If you're bringing him out there for that 7th inning, I think that's his inning to lose it. Yeah, he's really got to show you, other than 1 walk, that he's losing it. And the other factor is Orion Kerkering inheriting runners. I don't even know what his numbers are in the season, but I can just tell you, as of late, I know it happened in Washington. It's just not a good feel. I don't think he has a good feel for coming into a game or coming into an inning that he didn't start. Dr. MP Orion just had a bad night. Rob was on top of the game tonight, not napping in the dugout. That's true. He wasn't napping. I agree. Frederick, how you doing? I disagree. I saw the excessive frustration reaction in both Ranger last night and Sanchez tonight. Kerkering had a bad night, which is rare now. He deserves. Oh, I'm not like. Yes, I'm not like Orion get Kerkering off the team or anything crazy like that. Yeah, he had a rough night, and yes, some of those calls were terrible. Also, some of them were just misses that he was still getting frustrated at. So the odd thing for me is that, yeah, we have said many times for Topper to get guys out once they start leaking. But like for tonight, I thought Christopher Sanchez had multiple innings tonight where he was just able to get himself out of jams. And this time it wasn't even a leadoff walk. It was a walk with 1 out already recorded. So I'm trusting my starter in that instance. Connor, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing? Theron, hello. Sanchez should not have faced a Rosarena in the 7th. He hit Sanchez hard all game. Fair. But okay, so again, the other option then, if you're going to have him come out, get him out after the strikeout. Get him out after the strikeout. If you're going to have him on a short leash, he's already around the 90 pitch mark. He walks more than a Rosarena. Yeah. Then to me, he would have been at 91 pitches, I believe it was. I don't think Crawford had any fouled off. 91, 92 pitches. Then you can make the excuse to go to the bullpen. That way, Kerkering comes in with nobody on base. Seabrook, they're taking our jobs. Yes, umpire. Because you stink. James Alexander III. Hello. Rob Thompson has to fix the bullpen. Well, like the bullpen's been it's been great. Like pretty much everyone not named Jordan Romano has been great. Orion Kerkering's been great. First walk since the All-Star game. Come on. I'm not mad at the bullpen. I'm just mad at Topper and his picking and choosing of, I don't know, maybe this is him finally trying to get ahead of it, which I think I'd be happy. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. They tied the game. And also Christopher Sanchez missed the opportunity in a Cy Young race to get out of the jam himself and also pick up the W. Rob needs to get run every once in a while, says Will Willis. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Now, listen, tomorrow, weather permitting, 1:05 start time. Phillies, Mariners, as the Phillies look to break out the brooms on the Tridents. Okay? I got that home run Trident and all that jazz. All right. Phillies, that'll be a 1:05 start time tomorrow. Again, weather permitting in South Philadelphia. So I hope I'll be talking to you guys about this one at around 3:30, 4 o'clock tomorrow. That's what I'll be crossing my fingers for. Luis Castillo is supposed to go against Jesus Luzardo. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully see you then. Bye.